And hello and welcome everyone to yet another edition of the Daily 8 here on the News 8 Live Desk. Phil Penarski here with the top stories that we're focusing on today. We've got a jam-packed show for you. We'll take a look at your forecast, of course, but we'll also take a look at a new addition to the Michigan DNR's invasive plant list, and also how a spam folder netted a woman $200,000. All of that is coming up in just a bit, but first we have to tackle our top story of the day. It's a reminder to drivers in Grand Rapids, and it all begins tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is actually the start of the city's new extended paid on-street parking hours. Drivers used to have to pay to park on the street from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Well, now they're going to have to pay for that extra hour until 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. This change is made to help with parking turnover during peak evening hours. That's according to the Assistant Director of Mobile GR. Again, the extended hours begin tomorrow at 8 a.m. and go through 7 p.m., but it is still free to park on the street during the weekends in Grand Rapids. And sticking with driver news, some good news for those who have been stuck in traffic or have flat out been avoiding Fuller Avenue north of Michigan Street for the past few weeks. That road is now fully open. Construction projects have been going on for about a month and a half after originally only being planned to be closed for about a week. But now you don't have to worry, as it is back fully open, hopefully making some of your commutes a little bit less stressful. And next up, the Michigan Department of Natural Resources keeps tabs on all invasive species and plants in the state, and they've added a new specimen to that catalog. Lesser celandine, also known as pilewort or a fig buttercup, joins other invasive plants after cropping up in certain floodplain forests and in some stretches of the Grand River watershed. The DNR says that the lesser celandine made this list due to the fact that it can reproduce in 3 different ways and crowd out native plants. So if you do spot any lesser celandine, you're asked to report it to the DNR immediately. And the conservation team over at John Ball Zoo is celebrating after they released more than 1,200 butterflies that were on the brink of extinction back into their natural habitats. The Poweshiek skipperling are tiny, tiny butterflies, as you see there, that were once common all throughout the Midwest, but are now considered one of the rarest species of butterflies in the entire world. And some experts actually believe that there are less than a few hundred even remaining out there in the wild. But thanks to the work of the conservation team, there are now 1,200 new ones on the way back to their natural habitats. And you can actually learn more about this work that the conservation team has done, and also see some photos of how they were able to get that number to 1,200 by checking out the zoo's new interactive exhibit. It's called Backyard Butterflies, and it is free for everybody who pays for a ticket to get into the zoo. And that is some very good news for sure, and hopefully that good news extends into our forecast. Let's now check in with Storm Teammate meteorologist Matt Kirkwood with a look at your Wednesday forecast.
Okay, final day of July is going to feel like a July day out there. Muggy conditions, and it's going to be borderline hot with peak heat index temperatures low to mid-90s. Some high-level clouds coming at us from a big complex of storms that will miss us to the south and west. The chance of rain isn't 0 this afternoon, but quite low, about 20%, and that is about it. Lots of sunshine heading our way. It's going to be accompanied with some smoke in the upper parts of the atmosphere. Heading to the beach, good to see those water temperatures hovering right around 70 degrees and a gentle wind out of the southwest-west, creating waves this calm to foot. This is what we're tracking today. Again, you may note, once again, a little bit of a haze in the upper parts of the atmosphere. That's from all the wildfires off to the west. Warm and humid right through the weekend, occasional rounds of showers and thunderstorms, and then cooler next week. You can see temperatures going in the 80s and even 70s next week with lower humidity levels, but until then, the heat remains through the weekend, even possibly hitting 90 on Saturday. Right now, it looks like the best chance of storms will be Thursday night through the first half of Friday.
All right, thanks, Matt. And we head to the sporting world for these next 2 stories. First up, 6 players who spent time with the Michigan Panthers in the United Football League this past spring have now made the jump to the NFL. 5 of them were recent signees as training camp got underway last week for NFL teams. These players include Marcus Sims, Levi Bell, Javin White, Chim Okafor, and Nate Brooks. Kicker Jake Bates, who you might have seen a little bit earlier ago, actually signed with the Detroit Lions shortly after the season ended in the UFL, and he's already making quite the impression with fans on camp, and he's going to be vital for the Lions as they look to continue the stretch of good luck that they've had, as their kicker from last year, Michael Badgley, suffered a torn hamstring in camp. And in Olympic news, Michigan native Hannah Roberts took part in the BMX freestyle final this morning. Our David Horak spent time in Buchanan, Roberts' hometown, earlier today for the watch party. Let's hear what David has to say.
Watch parties are not new to the city of Buchanan. They had one back in 2021 when Hannah Roberts made the Olympic stage for the first time. More than 2,000 people were here then, and that was, according to NBC Sports, the largest live watch party ever. And another handful of people are here to see her go for gold again in Paris. The Olympic silver medalist from the Tokyo Games had the top qualifying score going into today's final. But even before then, her mentors always believed that she was meant for the international stage.
It's exactly the road she was meant to take, and I mean, she is a true champion, and she's living up to it at a very young age. I mean, a 5-time world champ already, second time in the Olympics, just took home gold in the X Games less than a month ago. I mean, what more can you ask for a career out of a 22-year-old young lady?
All right, thanks, David. And as a reminder to everybody, in case you did miss Hannah Roberts' trial at the Olympics, you can definitely find the full replay. We're going to be rebroadcasting that on News 8 coming up at 7 p.m. tonight. And our final story takes us to Macomb County, where one woman nearly missed out on $200,000 thanks in part to her spam folder. According to the Michigan Lottery, the woman had been playing some online games and hadn't even realized that even though she wasn't winning at that time, her entries were still being put into a second chance drawing. That second chance drawing saw her actually net $207,000, but the prize notification was sent to her spam folder. Thankfully, though, she found it just in time and was able to claim her prize. She says that she plans to pay her bills and invest the rest of the money. That could have been a really bad story, but thankfully it did have a very happy ending. And that is how we are going to end things here today on the Daily 8 as part of the News 8 Live Desk. But don't worry, we'll be back again tomorrow with another one. I want to thank everybody for tuning into this latest edition of the Daily 8 as part of the News 8 Live Desk. I'm Phil Penarski, hoping everyone has a great rest of their day.